How would you estimate the size of a crowd? What methods would you use? Could you use the same methods to estimate the number of wolves on a mountain? A whole group is called a population, this larger circle here. A part of a group is called a sample, this smaller circle inside. When biologists study a group of wolves, they are choosing a sample. The population is all of the wolves on the mountain. The sample is the small group of wolves that they're studying. One way to estimate the number of wolves on a mountain is to use the capture-recapture method. Suppose this represents all the wolves on the mountain. Wildlife biologists first find some wolves and tag them, so these 8 wolves right here. Then they release them back onto the mountain, so those 8 tagged wolves are now all over the mountain in random places. They wait until all the wolves have mixed together. Then they find a second group of wolves and count how many are tagged. So see, they've now found 8 more wolves, and they see that 2 of those wolves were previously tagged. Biologists use a proportion to estimate the total number of wolves on the mountain. So we have the tagged wolves on the mountain over the total wolves on the mountain equals the tagged wolves in the second group over the total wolves in the second group. For accuracy, they will often conduct more than one recapture. So, for example, we had 8 original tagged wolves over the total wolves on the mountain, W, because W is what we're trying to figure out. Then we had 2 tagged wolves in the second group, and there were 9 wolves in the second group. So then we just solve for W. To do that, we multiply 8 times 9, and we get 72, and we multiply 2 times W to get 2W. So W equals 36, 72 divided by 2. So we can estimate that there are 36 wolves on the mountain. Try this. Biologists are trying to determine how many fish are in the Rancocas Creek. They capture 27 fish, tag them, and release them back into the creek. 3 weeks later, they catch 45 fish. 7 of them are tagged. How many fish are in the creek? All right, so we had 27 originally in our first capture, and that's over the total number of fish in the creek. And then in the second catch, we had 45, and 7 of them were tagged. So when you solve for F, you get 173.57. So there are 174 fish in the river. Try this. 315 out of 600 people surveyed voted for candidate A. How many votes can candidate A expect in a town with a population of 1,500? All right, so the proportion here is that 315 out of 600 people voted for candidate A. So how many, like X, people would vote out of 1,500? So we can solve this proportion by multiplying 315 by 1,500 and then dividing by 600. And we can see here that would give us about 787.5, which is about 788 people.